Hello first years. In today's video we're going to go over how to properly expose video on your camera, as well as how to fix it on Premiere if it's not properly exposed. Alright, so now that we're in Audacity, as you can see here I have a clip that is slightly overexposed. As you can tell, everything seems to be like bleached out. So what we're going to do here, there's two things we can do. The first thing is go into the effects panel, and then you can search up brightness and contrast. Then you'll see this effect. You just simply click and drag that. Then in the control panel, you can go ahead and turn down the brightness to kind of help with that overexposure. And as you do that, up the contrast just a little bit. And that right there is actually already pretty dang good. Of course you can do some further tweaking like I'm gonna do. Just probably, I'm gonna leave it probably around there, around -51, because then you can actually see a little bit more details with the Blue Yeti. And then just up the contrast a little bit. So now that looks a lot better than what we had originally, which looks like this. As you can see, it's kind of like bleached out. The colors aren't so great. It just doesn't look good. Now the second way you can do this is actually a trick that Andrew taught me, which is in the opacity tab. What you can do is you can actually turn down the opacity of the video, and boom, already you can see it looks way less overexposed. Now obviously what this is going to do though is it's going to make it more like transparent, which for some of you might not want that. It really depends on what you're using this clip for. It's a really simple way of just easily fixing exposure if it's, you know, overexposed. Now this shot, as you can see, is not actually overexposed at all. In fact, it might be slightly underexposed. However, I like to do this type of ISO around like 400 ISO because it gives the footage a really cinematic look. And that's my opinion, of course, but it's really cool to have a little bit of a lower dim light. However, say for example your subject is too dark, then you can again use the brightness and contrast tool, and then you can just go ahead and up the brightness. And as you can see, that made the shot a little bit brighter. Now it's always better to have a shot that's underexposed than overexposed, because when you have an overexposed shot, you pretty much can't do anything about it. There's only so little you can do versus having an underexposed shot, which you can create like artificial exposure and then make the film look almost as if you actually shot it in a higher ISO. Now, in order to prevent any of these issues happening in the first place, what you want to do is first you want to set your camera to manual mode. And how you do that is you scroll the wheel on the top to set it to manual. And then from there, you'll go ahead and press the ISO button. And while you're doing that, you're going to go ahead and scroll the front wheel so that it's going and altering the ISO. And then you want to choose a proper ISO for your shot. I tend to stick around 400 ISO, and this shot was shot in 400 ISO as it gives a nice cinematic look to the film. However, it really depends on the situation. So anyways, that's going to pretty much wrap it up for this episode. Be sure to look out for more episodes coming out in the future on other stuff. I'm going to try to do an episode every week. And on that note, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss a single video. And I will see you all in the next video.